When I wake up in the morning, I always think to myself, which watch do I put on for the day? And I will admit, it's not usually the Explorer. It might be my Omega CK859, or I might reach for my Monta. It really depends on my mood and what I plan to do for the day. It could be my OP. Maybe I need to get stuff done and it's the G-Shock. But when I do pick up the Explorer, I often think about what this watch means to me. Why did I buy it? Why did I chase this watch so hard? It's been 5 months now since I've had this beautiful watch, and I'm finally ready to talk about it. This will not be your typical watch review. That's the main reason that you might not like it. I don't care about the specs. At least I don't want to talk about it in this video. There are plenty of others out there already. No, this moment is to talk about what this watch has meant to me. And that's what I want. A channel that talks about living with watches rather than a review mill. I want to hear how you live with this watch. What do you do with it? How does it fit into your daily routine? And do I go exploring with this watch? Of course I do. I take it with me to many places. Here's a glimpse into my adventures. Yeah, it's wild. But later about that. First, I want to talk about my personal meaning with this watch. So for me, let's start with this picture. Yeah, this is a picture of my dad, and it's in his shop. I don't even know when this picture was taken or who took it, but I'm grateful because it's a memory of him. And here's a picture of him in his Korean Army outfit. Yeah, he was in the Army, and he told me many hilarious and awful stories about his life there. But it's really the shop that I remember. My job was to take down orders from customers or other shops and write them down into a little yellow envelope. My dad was the best watchmaker that I knew. I know because other watch shops would send the toughest jobs to him, the ones they couldn't handle themselves. It might be a grandfather clock, or yes, a Rolex, or maybe an Omega. I'm using pictures from my collection, but you get the idea. And then I would call them up and tell them, hey, your job is ready. One day, a man walked into the shop and handed me 5 Rolex watches. They were fake. Yeah, even as a kid, I could tell right away that they were fake. I think he found them on the street or something, and he had this hope in his eyes. I didn't even consult with my dad. I took them and wrote down on the yellow envelope 5 fake Rolex watches. He saw this and the light was gone from his eyes. He never came back to pick up his watches. I always remember a story that my dad told me. He said that he could always tell a fake from a genuine Rolex. Even if the person was standing on the other side of the room, he would know. And he said he didn't know how he knew. And here's my mom in front of our wall of clocks. This was in Las Vegas, the city that never sleeps. And this is me back in Korea. Even then, I like to think I had a sense of style. But actually, it was my mom who dressed me up. Later, she told me I cried because the outfit was scratchy. Remember that Michael Jackson craze? Well, here you go. My dad and me wearing that jacket. Fun times. I was around that age when I started working at a shop. So when I think about my dad, I always remember him as a watchmaker. He was proud of that. And he liked Rolex. Well, he liked Casio more, but that's another story. So I'll finish my story about him near the end of this video. And here's my Rolex 214270. It was quite a chase. I debated and agonized between the 114270 and the 214270, the 36 millimeter versus the 39 millimeter, the vintage classic proportions or the modern fit that suited my wrist. I had made up my mind. It was a classic for me. The vintage heritage was calling out to me, but there was this nagging doubt. So I went to Bob's Watches in Newport, and I tried on the watch. I asked for the 39 millimeter case, so certain that I would reject it and it would ease my mind. No, it wouldn't be the right fit, and I would purchase the traditional vintage size. Until I put on the watch. Take a look at this picture. Yes, the fit was perfect for me. I felt that it was right. I came in so sure that I would reject it and fell in love with the watch. It was done. So I bought it there? No, because they were asking $2,000 over the online price. And it wasn't a mint condition watch. This was to be a special watch for me, and it had to be mine alone. And I found one. I did an unboxing video, and I talk about my joy in receiving the watch. So let's talk about my exploring with the Explorer. Do I journey into wild jungles? Do I encounter wild animals and petty action? Yes, absolutely I do. Now do yourself a favor and look up bachata social dancing. Yeah, it looks like this. Have you ever seen such wild, crazy action? I go hunting every weekend. Now, I've turned down the music because I don't want a copyright strike that could take down my channel. But if you've looked up bachata social dancing, then you've already gotten a taste for what it's like. And let me tell you, there's some very active arm swinging and body movement here. Check that out. And yes, I do dance, explore, and enjoy myself wearing this beautiful watch. It's an urban jungle out there. And I do believe the Rolex Explorer was meant to be worn when you're on the hunt and looking for that next conquest. Once in a while, you do meet some odd characters, like this Mario brother. But the action is wild and crazy, brother. And the timing has to be exact. That's when that cost certification is a must. Plus or minus 2 seconds? Girls go wild for that kind of precision, right? Look at that dancer go. And here's my partner in crime, Andre. He's also a Rolex guy. He owns 6 watches, including a gorgeous blue dial Sky Dweller. We look drunk since these pictures were probably taken around 3 a.m. And we always know the precise time because we're both wearing Rolex. What a life. And the Explorer is always there for me, ready to guide the timing of my steps and set the pace for the night. How else would you dance with a girl like her? You've got to know your steps, have the best timing for your moves, and then the connection can be truly incredible. And don't think I only go dancing with the Explorer. No, I encounter more dangerous situations where I depend on this oh-so-precise watch to keep people in line. Like the karaoke line. Would you believe it? Some people love to hog the mic and keep singing for hours, with total disregard for others waiting in line. It can be a very trying time. How could she be so inconsiderate? And when I point to my Rolex and remind them of the time, well, this is a typical reaction. Yeah, either they're impressed and complimenting me on the watch, or they really don't care what watch I'm wearing. It's hard to say. But this Cora is a great singer, and I could listen to her all night, which I typically do. And through all these times, the Explorer is my choice. It's relatively discreet, and the spirit of the watch calls for fearless exploration. Isn't that the entire mythology of the watch? Yes, we all know the story of Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. After many trials and tribulations, they reached the summit of Mount Everest wearing a Rolex watch. It's mentioned in the Rolex website and referenced in their advertising. It's truly a moment of great human achievement. Here you can see it proudly displayed. Except that never happened. The truth is that only a Smith watch was carried in this advertisement. Sir Edmund Hillary is quoted. And if you still doubt, here's a copy of a letter from a director of Rolex, which was issued after that momentous event. It openly acknowledges that it was a Smith to reach the summit, and it congratulates the company. So that's that. So how does that make me feel about this watch? Well, this watch is about memories for me. And it was created after the event to commemorate that historic achievement. Its very purpose is an evocation of the past. It serves as a reminder of human emotion. It is a fact that Rolex supplied the expedition with an Oyster Perpetual. In fact, this is likely the watch that was provided. It's not placed in a museum. The fact that it didn't traverse that last mile is ultimately not essential to the nature of the Rolex Explorer. For me, the Explorer is a watch meant to embody the past, carry forward the meaning of our human history. And that is what this watch does for me. I don't need it to tell the absolute truth about others' past. It need only connect me to my childhood and those times in my dad's watch shop. It serves as a reminder of our times together. So this is a picture of my mom and dad from happier times. They are both gone now, but these pictures stay with me, and the Rolex Explorer is a physical memory of that shop. Here's a picture of my parents in Korea. I wasn't even born then, and they are holding my sister. And as you can see, my dad really had a sense of style. So that's my review of this watch and what it means to me.